Stop comparing your day 1 to someone else's year 5. Welcome everyone to day 23 of my 90-day video challenge. So today I wanted to come in and talk about comparisonitis, which is what I call it, or the comparison trap. That is an easy thing for us to fall into, especially when we're just getting started, and in particular, when we are doing videos. Because you go onto YouTube, or even if you're just scrolling on LinkedIn, Facebook, any one of them, you see these seemingly polished videos and you're like, mine don't look like that, or I could never do that. That's usually what the thought that comes into your head would be. And the reality is, and it took me a long time, maybe some of you have figured this out sooner, but it took me a long time to realize that what I was doing when I would look at what somebody else was doing was that it wasn't a fair comparison, number one. And I shouldn't be comparing myself, number two, and I'll explain that in a minute. It wasn't a fair comparison because here I was on day 1, day 2, whatever the time frame was. And I was green when it came to creating videos. I didn't know exactly how I should position my camera versus the lighting. I didn't really know what audio equipment I needed to use. And I was comparing myself in the infancy stage to someone that was probably year 5 or further along. They had already gone through what I was now going through, but I didn't see that because I wasn't on that platform, or I happened not to see the content that they were creating. And so I'm looking at them and I'm like, well, they're all like, they know what they're doing. So I can't compete with that. And that then just brings in a tremendous amount of self-doubt. And when that happens, it then just paralyzes you. And you're like, why bother? It doesn't make any sense. I'm never going to be as good as them, and so on and so forth. And that's what I certainly went through. I still created videos, but I created them mainly because I kept telling myself, I have to do this, whether I want to do it or not, because if I don't do it, I might as well just pack up and not have this business anymore. And so for the fact that I wanted to keep my business was why I actually kept creating videos. But what I then ended up learning later on, because I insisted on sort of continuing to do this, is that I really should never have been comparing myself, because there is nobody else for me to compare myself to, because there's nobody else like me. I am the only Edie that exists. I am the only person that does what I do with the knowledge and the understanding that I have. And so how in the world can I compare myself with someone else when we don't have the same life? They're bringing to their business, to their channel, to their videos, their personality. They're bringing their knowledge. They're bringing their experience. They're bringing the trials and tribulations of doing everything that they've done to that point. And so was I. So am I right now. I'm bringing right now to all of the videos that I'm creating for these next less than 90 days. I am bringing my experience, my knowledge, my trials and tribulations, and I'm sharing that not only actually in the content, because I'm sharing the experiences that I've had and that I know others that are like me have had. And that's really the determining factor that separates me from somebody else that may be talking about the same topic. We could be talking about the fears that come along with creating and marketing videos and the uncomfortableness that we feel a lot of times when we turn that camera on. I feel it less and less and less each time I do this. But it is hard when you're first starting, and it is extremely, extremely nerve-wracking when you are doing this because of the fact that this is new to you. This is foreign. This is not something that you're typically comfortable doing. And so in order for you to get comfortable, you just have to do it. And that's the message that I really want to come in here with. I think I shared a little bit of it in yesterday's video, that it really pays to constantly do something repetitively, because it makes you way more comfortable when you finally have gotten the cobwebs out or the nervousness, you've gotten all of that out of the way. The only thing you can do is just focus on what you're talking about. And the thing that tends to make people nervous is talking to this inanimate object, whether they're talking to a web camera or they're talking to their smartphone. It is weird because we're used to talking to other human beings, and it's hard. I used to hear, oh, just think of that person as another person. I haven't done that yet. And some people will say, I don't have a photograph, but put a photograph behind your camera so that it looks as if you're talking to someone. I just have forced myself to get into the habit of looking at the eye of the camera. And I do that because every single time I'm on a web call, I've just literally trained myself to do this. Whenever I'm on a web call, and this is mainly for consultations. If I'm just chatting it up with a friend, it's very rare that I'm going to do it the entire time. I always look at the camera when I'm on a one-on-one consultation, strategy, whatever type of a Zoom call, because I want the other person to see me looking at them. And so that was my training ground to get comfortable with speaking to an inanimate object so that the other person would feel like they were being listened to and heard and spoken to. And so that's my advice to you, is to stop comparing, focus on you, focus on the knowledge and the expertise that you can bring to whatever topic it is that you're talking about, and remove the thought that you're speaking to this thing, this camera, and really try to think of it. Because I guess when I really think of it, I am speaking to someone. I am speaking to an individual who was where I am or where I was 2 or 3 levels ago. And so I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to that person and letting them know that the more you get comfortable with doing something that makes you uncomfortable, the more you're going to be able to be much more at ease in doing it. And you'll get to a point where it's just natural and you're at peace. And that's what my hope is for you. And so until next time, and also don't forget, if it doesn't challenge you, it does not change you. I put these decals on my walls because I wanted that daily reminder. So I want you also, when you see my videos, and it's rare that sometimes you can see it, but when you can see the saying, I want that to be something that you notice, and I want you to be able to take on those messages as well, because they are meant for you. This one that you can't really see says you can. End of story. So that's it. All right. So I will see you tomorrow for day 24. Take care.